Hi, everyone.
Hey,
I'm Alicia,
and I'm Meredith.
and this is Winter is Fun, a Winter House podcast, season 2, episode 7, probably 7 out of 10.
Yeah, they did not say next episode on the season finale. And so I'm like, wow, I guess we just live here forever now.
I know. We're in Vermont for too long.
I know. I thought if Lindsay and Carl left this episode, we'd get the finale,
But
but
of
they
course, we
haven't.
have the drama. Let's talk about it. Okay, before we get into it though, check us out on the A&M Podcast Network. We have this podcast, we have It's About the Pasta, Vanderpump Rules podcast, and we have One Season Wonders. Please be sure to rate, review, subscribe. We asked and y'all came through.
Delivered. I
Oh my God.
squealed of joy and texted Alicia immediately.
We have 4 5-star reviews to get through. So I'm going to read them now
Okay.
because some of them made me chuckle too because it's so good. Okay, so this one is from Michelle Gajo. Sorry if I said that wrong, but definitely Michelle Gajo, I think. Titled Love a Good Recap. And it says, we definitely have differing opinions. I'm not a fan of Luke's vibe or Lindsay's personality as portrayed on the show.
I
I
can
get
see
it.
that.
Not for everyone.
Yeah.
I'm struggling with Lindsay a little bit, so we'll get it through.
We'll get into
But
that.
but I love a thorough recap that's full of laughs, commentary I might have made.
Love. That is the goal here. Just a little two friends chatting away.
That never stop chatting. Okay. We have another 5-star review titled 5 stars from MNB 476. And it reads, I've been watching the mess that is Winter House, but so many of my usual Bravo pods aren't covering Winter House. Well, thank goodness I found this pod. Meredith and Alicia are so funny. It was easy to hop right into their show. Thank you, gals. Ooh,
I'm
they're
shocked that more people
funny.
aren't covering it.
Yeah, because it is portray it's getting it, or it's setting up the drama for Summer
Yeah.
House.
I'm shocked people aren't covering season 2, I'll say, because of everything that went down last, like you said,
Yeah.
like it set up Summer House. It even set up some stuff in Southern Charm.
Yes. It's I don't know, whatever.
It's like the
But
Jersey Shore family vacation kind of, but then you have other seasons. Like
yeah,
it affects.
we are happy to be covering it though.
I
Um
I'm not mad about it because there's like nothing really going on too.
no, yeah, it's just a lot of fun and filler, and we all know our filler episodes just take
We love.
forever. Okay, so this one is titled Best Bravo Podcast from Mandy Mo 112. And it says, I watch Summer House, Winter House, and Southern Charm by myself. And I so appreciate this podcast for giving me a place to share the love. These ladies give stellar episode reviews, but I also dig the opinions and personal takes. This podcast makes me laugh out loud so often. Keep it up.
I am gonna have the biggest head because I'm
Stellar.
so funny.
Stellar.
So funny.
Excuse me, ma'am. You're making me blush.
I'm gonna read this at Christmas. I'm gonna print it out and read it to my family and be like, get in
It's
and
not a
get in
waste.
line and
It's
let's
not a
all
waste of time.
acknowledge that I'm funny and I'm awesome.
Listen, my parents think this is still a joke, so I'm going to show them this.
At least Chris
Stellar,
Wagner
baby.
tunes into the joke.
Okay, so this other one is from Chris my grits, one of our patrons.
Heart, heart, heart.
And she says, who needs real friends when you have ... Alicia and Meredith to talk Summer House and Winter House
We
with?
are real friends.
Boom,
We're just
boom.
connected digitally.
Digital friends. We're in the metaverse, if you will.
Stop it. No, we are
Okay.
not.
She goes on to say, I love these ladies' takes on the cast of Bravo shows. I laugh right along with them every week. And even though they make me feel old every time I hear them talk about how 40-year-olds are.
Oh, I can't wait to be 40 and be like, Meredith, you really screwed yourself there.
Okay, wait. Every time I hear them talk about how 40-year-olds are old, I'm still giving 5 stars because I used to be in my 20s too. Listen though, here's the issue. We have been asked if we're 14 at one point.
Yeah. We are apparently mentally even younger.
We have the mindset of tweens. But I can't wait to be 40. And Chris, Listen up. You are young at heart because I see what you write and you are right there along with us. Okay. Also, it's just Jackson Kyle that I like really get on.
That's true. There's a very subset of 40-year-olds that we dog on.
Because some of the housewives, like Karen Huger, is in her late 50s and she could maybe be 30 to me. She's perfect. I think it's these kids that are forced to drink constantly and it really ages
Yes.
them.
It's us comparing maturity levels to their age when they are so out of
That's
whack.
it.
That's the
it.
diss.
I mean, people do the same thing to us because we're teenagers, but
That is so true. You know
whatever.
what? That just made me sad. Let's go back to the one where it said we were stellar.
Stellar. No, thank you guys. That was so good. 4 5-star reviews.
I mean,
amazing. Amazing.
Am I in a dream? Wake me up now.
Is the
Actually,
podcast
don't.
over? This is it. This is it. No, okay, to keep going with our intro though, follow us on Instagram at Vanderpasta. I've gotten into posting the tweets the day we release the podcast,
which is fine with me.
Which is Mondays.
It gives me something to look forward to.
And then join our Patreon, patreon.com/Vanderpasta. Let me tell you what you can get. For $1 a month, you get access to all of our pre-shows where Meredith and I talk about whatever we want. And then also you get access to any episodes we record early. So sometimes it's the live seasons. Most of the time it's when we go back and do old seasons, whatever we're feeling, whatever's on the Patreon, you get first. For $2 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus you get access to our after show that we do when we go back and we watch old seasons. So we can still keep you updated on our Bravo opinions of the news that's happening.
The breaking news.
Also, we'll say your name on the podcast. So thank you to Chris, Danae, Dustin, Jackie, Jamie, Casey, Kimberly, Chris, Sarah, Cameron, Tiffany, Tonette, Tracy, Gina, Jennifer, Kirsten, Kelsey D, Kelsey M, and Mariah.
Woohoo!
Boom.
There we go.
And then for $5 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, during live seasons, you get to give us your opinions, comments, concerns, whatever you want. And we will read them on the podcast. I was just telling Meredith, I totally forgot to do that this week. The holiday really fucked me up. But feel free to comment on like old posts or comment on our episodes and we will read those on the podcast. I will come back for episode 8 and post. I don't know what got into me. I've made a note in my planner.
She's made a note in her planner.
I can't
Don't worry. You have like what we think is 3 more episodes to even give your thoughts.
Yeah, we'll catch up.
Remember when I said this was going to end before Thanksgiving? Wow, was I wrong?
I do remember. So because I forgot this week, I'm going to read the 2 comments that we got. Just I think some of them might be a 2-star review, but I'm going to do it because that's on me. Hip hip. But going forward, it'll just be the $5 ones or whatever, and I'll post. And if I don't, someone yell at me. 2 weeks ago, Tonette yelled at me and I was like, thank you so much. I totally forgot. So that's on me. Okay, but we do have some comments from last episode. I forgot what happened because we took a week off for Thanksgiving. But yes. Kelsey M says, I just don't get why Lindsay and Carl are even here. The only people who like them are Luke and Kyle. Amanda acknowledges Paige and Sierra hate Lindsay, and we know Craig and Austen are just trash, but despise her now. It seemed like all it did was make it awkward, and there's no positive angle. I don't mind Lindsay and Carl, but I just feel like this isn't their scene anymore. I agree.
Especially after this episode, it makes me nervous for Summer House.
And Luke's not in Summer House, so this is...
I'm very nervous because this is super awkward. Like the house is really separated. Everybody's in their rooms like a lot of the time. People didn't even eat dinner together at this episode. Like, I know. What is going... Like, this is just uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't know. I agree. I think that they're going to exit their reality TV stint. But the other thing being is I don't know where their other incomes are. I mean,
Lindsay
I know
has
Carl,
her PR business, and
Carl does Loverboy, but I just feel like they're going to have to change, obviously, the way they live if they leave Summer House, because those two have been on since the beginning. So we know they're
but maybe
making
they've
the
like really
most.
good like nest eggs that they've like really
Maybe.
saved for stuff and have diversified investments or something.
Hopefully. So we'll see. But Kirsten then says, Dategate is so dumb. Amanda doesn't have a storyline, so she's stowed production push to create drama. Carl and Lindsay weren't together at the wedding. Talking about dating isn't the same as being exclusive. This is just an opportunity for the house to slut shame Lindsay. This whole storyline is insane to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna like pause on my commentary on this one because I have a lot of thoughts about this that I didn't think I would have.
I have so many thoughts.
And like I want to wait till like the moment we talk about it in the episode. But
let's just get into it.
That is a great comment.
We're gonna get into it. So thank you for your comments. Again, my bad for not posting, but I will.
You can always post on old posts too.
I'll do it. I'll do it going forward. I'm the worst. Okay, so previously on Winter House, we went ice skating. We had that little fun competition. Rachel and Jason made out and are feeling each other. Carl and Lindsay are here, and Austen's a little weird because of Touchgate. And like, we don't know if Lindsay and Carl were like maybe together when she touched Austen's dick, but then Austen also roasted Lindsay on Watch What Happens Live when Lindsay was at Watch What Happens Live.
Oh God, which I have a timeline thing I want to talk about later on.
I love a good timeline. So do they. Apparently,
I fact checked it.
All these people love a timeline way more than I do. Jason and Lindsay need to talk about the miscarriage. Lindsay is now sober, and then she told the house that her and Carl started liking each other the first week in October, but Amanda and Kyle got married at the end of September, so we don't know apparently what's happening there. And Carl also apparently has no idea that Touchgate happened. So will we tell him? I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
Well, okay, let's get into it. So it's Monday, 10:28 p.m. Foxtails and Moxtails is over. I said that weird. It's mocktails. Sorry about that.
I didn't know if you were going to acknowledge it.
Whatever. Amanda and Kyle talk about how awkward dinner was for everyone because Austen hasn't talked to Lindsay, but he did give up his room. So Olive Branch.
The weirdest thing. Dinner was semi-awkward, but not. I feel like they really are trying hard to push this. Like, wow, we're all sitting there like, wow, we know they're lying about their dating date. And it's like, why is this the storyline being pushed?
Also,
I want like Austen and Lindsay's tension to be the focus, not this like date conspiracy theory.
I agree. Also, though, thank God for Jess. I can't believe I said that because she was asking questions to keep the convo moving.
Yes.
So thank goodness.
You know what, Jess, you earned your pay.
There it was. That happened. Craig is playing around with the wine glass. Olivia and Austen are texting about how they miss each other. And then Jason, he finds Lindsay and he offers to help take her suitcases up from Luke's basement room up to Austen's room. And she says Carl can do it. So then he's like, cool. Well, can I still talk to you? Which I thought was very nice.
Yes. So and he was like, I want to talk away from the house, like just us.
Meanwhile, they cut to Austen and Carl like weirdly talking in the kitchen, which like unnecessary, but thank you for reminding us that Touchgate happened.
And like, we're not talking about it.
No,
but we are talking about it.
So Jason starts talking and he wants Lindsay to know that some of the actions that Lindsay did created unintentional consequences. Jesus, I can't talk today.
Rough day.
Jason was not involved in giving the story to the public, and Jason just thought Lindsay would have some respect for him to know and have his say in it, and he's hurt that he didn't, and he just
and he eventually says like to get a heads up that like I think these articles are being published.
Yes. So Lindsay says, there's no handbook in how to do this, and she was also terrified, which I get. The internet is very split on this conversation.
I'm going to be up front. I'm going to be honest. I didn't like how she handled this.
I didn't either. And I get she also had a hard time with this.
Absolutely.
All through Summer House, I sympathized with it tenfold. But I think it's important to acknowledge that two people in this instance were hurt.
Like it's not mutually exclusive. One person doesn't get to be like, wow, my time was difficult, so your time can't be difficult. And I think
Yes.
in Summer House, we got to acknowledge her difficult time. And now he's just trying to say, like, hey, I want to get this off my chest. Like, it upset me that this happened. And she's like, wow, you can't be upset because like I was upset at the time.
Yeah, I don't love that. But he goes on, and I think he handles this beautifully.
He did it incredible. Like the tone he spoke in, the words he used,
yes,
really thoughtful.
Yes, and I don't think he ever said like, Lindsay, you're the worst, or
No.
you did this. He was just like, what you did hurt me.
Yeah.
To which
it was more like I was hurt. He used more like I statements and focusing
yes.
on like his feelings rather than like what she did.
Yeah.
He just talked about her actions when it came to like the media stuff.
Yeah. So Lindsay apologizes that Jason felt hurt about it being public.
I didn't like that phrase.
I didn't either. Like, sorry that you felt hurt. And then she's like, but I told you it was going to be public, which that doesn't make it easier.
No. And like saying like, hey, I'm going to go public with this on like Summer House is different than, hey, I just got word that this is going to be published on like blog magazines and like media companies, like just a heads up.
And I think it's also different, right? At this point, Jason has one season of a 6-episode show on Bravo that a lot of people didn't watch under his belt.
Yeah.
And then it's like Lindsay is far more in the public eye. So yeah, media is going to pick this up and write about it. And I think in Lindsay's mind, oh, I'm going public with it means everyone's going to know. Whereas in Jason, he didn't have that like mindset of everyone's, especially when it comes to like
his family. Cause he said like his family saw stuff online and then was like calling him. Can you imagine like your cousin who you probably didn't tell, like you had a miscarriage, is like calling you being like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah. Yeah, horrifying. So he just says he didn't know it would be on websites and out in the public and having quotes from Lindsay, and Jason wishes he also could have given quotes, which I think is fair. If anything, I think Lindsay should have said like when Jason is on Summer House, like he should have his time to also speak on it or like something.
Yeah.
Okay, but Lindsay's in her interview, like so separate from her conversation with Jason, says that she's upset that Jason doesn't acknowledge what she went through. And that's where I just
that really upset me because
he does.
Yes. And didn't Jason say at the start of Winter House that like when it all happened, he would like check on Lindsay and like he wasn't able to process his side of things because he was like so focused on her.
Yeah.
So like while it was actually going down, unless Lindsay like says otherwise, like, and he's lying or something, it sounds like he was really supportive of her and what her body was going through and her emotions, even though they weren't together and he was hurt by like not being together and by like losing a baby.
Yes, he fully acknowledged at the time. Just because now he's acknowledging his own feelings doesn't mean he doesn't acknowledge yours.
It made me really sad that this was in an interview because it's like you've had time to process this now. And sometimes I hold interviews to a higher standard of how people treat like a situation because you had time to process and think about that.
Like to me, when you say it in a moment, right? Like, and it's being filmed, it might come out wrong, but in an interview, you know what they're going to talk about. You know what you should and shouldn't say at that point. Like that's when you can reflect and say,
you have
like,
more of a 360 view to be like, you know what? Like, I feel like in that moment, he wasn't like acknowledging my hurt, but like he definitely did, you know, in the summer or something.
There's a way. Yes. Agreed. So Jason, back in the conversation with Lindsay, says he just wanted a heads up and didn't know what was going to be in the public and to what extent. And he just wanted to be included in the conversation.
Yeah.
Which is very fair. So Lindsay apologizes again for not giving Jason a heads up. And he thanks her, even though I didn't love the apology, but he took it, which is fine. Then that's
Jason's amazing.
Jason's the best. He thanks her and wants to end on a good note. And he's like, thank you so much. Goodbye. And he like leaves. And all I thought was Lindsay better not make this a thing where she fucking wants to fight Jason or something. Oh, okay. So upstairs, Kyle is using his tail from his fox to be a dick. And everyone's like to literally be a dick, not like
Yes.
he's being a dick. And everyone's taking shots. Corey and Jess have some PDA. And Jess tells him she still doesn't feel cool enough here, which I'm over. I don't care at this
I'm
point.
over this.
Care.
Like I'm you can say like I'm in my head, but like she's creating this like mean girl vibe because she's saying they're cool and she's not. When it's like, no, you can say like I don't fit in, I don't know how to connect with people, but like
they're so cool, girl. You're in your 20s.
Not like
cool
high school.
Over.
Yeah,
cool
like
over.
why is there a hierarchy and that she's creating? I think there somewhat is because of seasons and seniority on shows, but not like I'm top bitch and like you can't be friends with me or sit with me at the dinner table.
So weird. So then Jason, he really quick in passing tells Rachel he just talked to Lindsay, which is cute because he trusts her.
I love how communicative he is with her because it would be so easy to leave Rachel out to dry in this like awkward situation. Cause like, why would you want to tell her about your ex? I'm going to kind of call them girlfriend, boyfriend, ex-girlfriend's miscarriage conversation. That's so awkward. But like Rachel truly is genuine and supportive of him. So he knows he has a confidant, even though this is kind of an awkward situation.
And I like how she's like, how are you feeling? Are you okay? And he says he feels relieved. And Rachel's like, I'm so glad. Would you like to watch a movie later with me? Which is like another sense of comfort. And I'm obsessed.
Get them upstairs watching a movie.
I'm literally like, everyone go to bed. Go to bed. Leave them alone.
Like stop partying. Go up to the room.
Go to bed. Okay. So then Carl and Lindsay talk, which was less cute. And I'm upset because I want to like them. I
do too.
I want to so
she
bad.
Like made it a thing and really twisted it. Where like then Carl is like very rational. And I think like if he watches this back, he'd be like, okay, that's not what happened.
Yes. Okay. I don't know if you caught this, but basically Lindsay tells Carl like the conversation happened and that Jason felt blindsided about it. And Carl starts saying, sounds like he's having, and Lindsay interrupts and goes, memory loss. And I thought he was going to say trauma or something. Like, sounds like he's having a hard time. Sounds like he is struggling.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's having memory loss.
And I was like, bitch, you're having memory loss when he was supportive with you over the summer.
So Lindsay then starts crying to say she shouldn't be made to feel guilty, which is not how Jason wanted you to feel.
And and I know that's for a fact because when Jason was just talking to Rachel, he like said he was just happy to get it off his chest.
Yes.
He just wanted to speak it and like let it go. And he needed to speak it to her.
Yes. So then Carl comforts her and they hug and it's fine. And I just
the way she crawled into his lap was also weird.
So weird. She like slithered on it.
It was not like cutesy. And I kind of expected more of them in like a cute manner, like of them coming on this show that I like really like. They're like,
I know. I want to like them.
Like it's
so
weird
bad.
that I enjoy Jess and Corey like kissing and like doing things more than.
Oh, I don't. No,
I don't really enjoy that, but on the scale of things,
no.
Corey and Jess, when they have like little moments, like at the bar, and they were like, if I did not know Jess, I'm like, okay, theirs is like more natural and normal than like.
I think Carl and Lindsay are that gross couple that like can't not be gross. I think because Corey's in with Jess, he's the one kind of pumping the brakes on how gross it can get.
Yeah, that's.
I think Lindsay and Carl are just a gross couple,
They're
but I hate Jess and Corey more.
I just like them as people more.
It starts with Jason and Rachel.
It just is more natural to watch them kiss than it is like Lindsay and Carl's like crawling into the lap moment.
I think it's just unnatural because we know them so separately.
That's true.
Okay, so it's 11:46 p.m. I'm waiting for a movie date.
I literally waited all night for it.
Instead, we just get Jess saying she likes Corey, but then we do get Jason and Rachel snuggled up on the couch together. I was like,
keep the camera here. I don't need anything else.
Yeah, we cut to Craig with his popcorn. I don't care. Then we have Luke.
I was so nervous where he was gonna go with this.
So funny. Luke is so oblivious and pure. So he fucking and I just want to be clear from the review we got. If I'm in the house, I probably don't like Luke's energy, but for a funny TV purpose, it is so goddamn hilarious.
I also want a follow-up question to the person who said that like where did you grow up? Because I think some of our love, like actually 90% of our shtick with him is the Midwest King.
It's
like,
a Midwestern
we
thing.
understand it.
Yes, we are literally,
but no, I do not want to live in a house with Luke. Actually, he would be my public enemy. I would come downstairs and be like, no. If you started
I'd be
playing
like, protect them at all costs. What do you do? But what he does is he goes into the living room where Jason and Rachel are cuddling, and he's like, hey guys, I have a song to play for you if you have any lyrics for me.
I didn't hear the lyrics part. All I heard was I have a song for you. And then the lyrics, quote unquote, the little things that he starts spitting out, I was like, what is happening? Because he's like playing a slight tune. The notes are not even all there for the guitar part.
No, it's a real rough draft, and everyone in the house can hear him, and they're like, "Oh God, he's playing his stupid
Sierra
guitar."
Upstairs in the master with Paige and Craig. She goes, "Oh no, Luke's got his guitar out."
I'm just glad Craig didn't fight Luke, because it was a pure moment. I don't think it was necessary to fight, but it could be so funny. Like if you're like, I don't know, the Jess, someone random, you're kind of like, this is hilarious. He just plays his guitar. Like that would be
also, if you're like about to fall asleep and somebody start playing their guitar and you can hear it from every floor, you're like, what the I really was ready for somebody to walk up or downstairs and be like, too. What the fuck?
I'm glad it didn't happen, because Jason was very nice. He's like, oh, that's a great song, like whatever. And Luke's like, I need lyrics, and then he leaves. Thank God he left. Thank goodness.
It was a quick little bit.
So funny though. And so Rachel and Jason are on the couch. I'm melting. They have like a cute little kiss.
Oh my God.
And then
he's like rubbing her back.
I know. And he's like, he acknowledges, he's like, you're tired, aren't you? And she's like, I'm so tired. And he's like, let's go to, like, you go to bed. Like, you go by, it's not us, it's you go to bed. And so she does. And then Kyle carries Amanda to bed. And then Carl checks out Lindsay's boobs, this was the part I was like, it's because I know them separately. Yes. And I don't know them as a couple yet that it freaks me out.
Yeah, that's a good point. Also, side note, I'm really loving Amanda and Kyle's relationship. I'm so happy we are getting a fun version of them after a terrible summer house.
Thank God, because I can't remember one season where I was like, this has been great for them.
They're making me smile. I'm happy for them.
So Rachel, then when she's leaving Jason, she tells him to text her, and he's like, oh, that's hot, I will text you.
I think that's so funny, because if I'm sitting in the same house texting a boy that couldn't just be laying in my bed, I find that weird.
It's cute though, right? She's like, I want to take things slow, just text me. They're doing like it's almost like a high school relationship. It's very cute.
It's a slow build, and those are really fun. But I just like, why doesn't he just go lay in her bed with her?
Because she didn't invite him.
I know. You don't have to do anything.
She didn't invite him.
But I love like a good little pillow talk.
She didn't invite him.
And I would have loved to see a good little pillow talk.
Like a Big Brother-esque where they just talk and like fall asleep separately.
Yeah, they're just laying next to they're just staring at each other.
Maybe they'll call. Maybe they'll call. And it'll be cute.
Right. Actually, that was hilarious. Love it. Get them walkie-talkies at this rate.
Oh my God, I love that. So Luke and Austen have like cute little roommate banter. Austen and Olivia are good. We were all concerned. Hip hip hooray. Okay.
Let's stop this Olivia crap. Stop giving me this like sideline of Olivia. I don't care because they're
broken up.
They don't ever get into a relationship. This is just useless in this storyline, if I'm honest.
Yeah. So then it's 1:54 a.m. Jess and Corey are talking, and Jess doesn't want to talk to Corey if he's unsure about her. And he's like, what are you talking about? I've never told you I'm unsure. And then we recognize that Jess has all these insecurities, and she doesn't want him going home and being a fuckboy, and if he's not going to take her seriously after Winter House. She's just making up scenarios of like, he's going to leave me.
What's funny is what she was describing is exactly what happened with Austen and Sierra.
Yes. Yes. This reminded me a lot of like a Paige and Andrea moment where she was like, we have to go back to the city and like hang out. But she wasn't like, I don't want you to leave me and like you be a fuckboy. She said like, if you're going to date me, we're going to go on dates for real in the city. Like she was more of like, we're both going to do this or we're both not going to do this. So I think Jess just looks like, it's so rough.
I agree.
Okay, so then she says she usually has the upper hand with guys, but she's scared now.
I'm so fucking over her with her like touting herself.
Yeah, and then Corey in his interview is like, it's way too early to give my heart to her. It's been
Like,
6 days.
is this the point too where she says in her interview, like, every day equals a week? Again, she like
That's
says
later,
that.
but yeah, she says that.
I can't with her.
No.
She's just like, listen, I understand falling hard and falling fast, like been there, like where you're like, I'm in love with this person. You're not actually, but you're
Especially
just
if you're
so
living with them.
infatuated.
Especially.
But like, again, when you are saying things in interviews, like,
Yeah.
it's weird.
Yeah. So we all go to bed. It's now Tuesday, 9:26 a.m. The house wakes up. Carla goes down to get him and Lindsay some coffee, and we'll text her if it's safe to go down.
She like is scared of seeing people. This is the most uncomfortable house I've watched. I don't want to be in this house.
Which is super weird because Lindsay's like an OG. She shouldn't be scared. She clearly is.
You know what? Remember when Kyle said at that one reunion to Hannah, that one summer house reunion, like, this is all based on a group of friends and it doesn't work if we're not friends. That's the problem here, is like, they're not really friends with a lot of these people anymore. Like, like you said, like, they're friends with Luke and they're friends with Kyle, but it's like, that's it. They don't really have a relationship. Like Sierra says it, I don't have a relationship with Lindsay.
I don't think it's just that. I think like these girls don't even like Lindsay.
Agreed.
Like, they clearly have issues, which, like, fine, whatever. I think some of those issues are justified. I think some of them are not justified.
But at the end of the day, there's not like communication between them outside of being on a show.
The girls don't like Lindsay, at which, like, they're gonna make, that's what's awkward. If they could even like tolerate Lindsay.
Yeah.
But
and what's hard is when you don't like someone but you like their partner, like they obviously all like Carl. They're not gonna go hang and buddy with Carl because like they do know that like that's weird and like you wouldn't do that.
Okay, so Luke wants to go ice fishing. He puts that accent on. The Minnesota accent is out and about. I loved it. But yeah, Amanda says in Paige and Craig's bed that she doesn't want to go ice fishing because she doesn't want to be cold, so she's gonna go to a bar.
Which I was like, buck up, girly. And then they showed the temperature whenever they do go ice fishing, and it was -2. And I was like, I will be at the bar.
I will also be at the bar. Okay, but then they talk about Lindsay not drinking, with Carl, and they all agree like she's better when she doesn't drink because she didn't bother Craig at all yesterday. But like, Craig does not have a high tolerance for people, so I
was like, oof, that is like a weird
rude
diss.
It's kind of like, rude.
If people are like, yeah, thank God you're not drinking, I'd be like, I would start spiraling, being like, what do I do that is so wrong?
I would drink immediately.
I don't think Lindsay's like that bad when she's drinking. I think all the time she doesn't really give a shit about people's like feelings. No,
she does. She's
pretty consistent.
She's equal no matter what she's on.
Yeah, I think it's definitely everything is amplified when you're drinking, but like, it's not like she like attacks people when she's drinking. Yeah.
So we're all still concerned about the timeline because at the wedding, they were going to give it a go. And everyone says that's the point when you start dating. But I like want to be clear. Paige and Craig said they were going to, start to feel each other out, but they were still hooking up with other people. And Kyle and Amanda were in a long committed relationship when Kyle had many of indiscrepancies.
I think they really, like, the group is really trying to make this a thing.
But for the viewer, it's not, which is
it's so not landing. It really doesn't.
Not one person on Twitter is like, this makes sense.
Especially because they keep using the same clips to like prove the point that like that Lindsay and Carl like started their relationship.
It's just Maya going, I heard they're gonna give it a go.
Yeah, which is not them becoming exclusive. I think if Lindsay slept with Austen, that would be like more of like I can't believe she did that when she said she was going to give it a go with Carl. Like, that is kind of shady, just knowing the past.
Yeah.
But it's like, we don't have descriptive details, but truly if her hand, flat palm, just laid on his dick as they woke up, that's not as weird. If like there was like heavy petting and like making out, I think you'd have more of a smoking gun, nothing like crazy. But
I kept thinking it could be in her sleep. Like she just rolled over. Yes. Or I'm picturing them drunk, right? There's McDonald's. Maybe the McDonald's is near Austen's dick and she reaches over and like.
Yep. No, but he said he woke up that way the next morning. So like this happened in sleep.
In his sleep, she's trying to basically hop on that dick.
Like, I kind of get it. Like, but it's not.
It's not sexual yet. It's not sexual enough.
It's not some
yet.
crazy thing that I'm like, wow, poor Carl. I feel really bad for him. The way the rest of the house is saying it, like, wow, poor Carl.
Yeah, no,
he doesn't even know. And I'm like, no, what?
Whatever. So then Paige in her interview was like, Lindsay's in PR. She changed the timeline. She and Carl were going to give it a go.
I actually
and then
thought
she
that comment was pretty hilarious where Paige was like, wow, Lindsay's so great at PRing her own life. I should hire her.
I thought that was funny, but also,
but still,
she was just like, Carl, I'm going to brainwash you to say it's the beginning of October.
Because I feel like Carl would have to be in on it to even play this timeline game.
Yes. Yeah. Also, like, yeah, we said we were going to give it a go at the wedding, but we actually didn't date until October.
Can you imagine Lindsay like being like, no, Carl, we're saying October,
it's whatever. October.
And he's like, wouldn't he think that's weird if she's really pushing for a date?
A little. I would think that's weird. I'd be like, what happened in September?
Yeah.
I don't know, but Austen hasn't talked to Lindsay yet. But then we see Austen looking for his towel. It's in his room. It's super awkward. But he knows he disrespected Lindsay, so he's ready to talk.
Okay, but this is where I want to talk about timeline.
Okay.
Like Amanda and Kyle's wedding, obviously, potential date September number 1 25th. Of where the relationship started, whatever, yes. Yes. And then we have the actual relationship starting October what did they say?
7th or something.
Yeah.
First week.
Austen's Watch What Happens Live appearance was on October 27th. So like weeks later, after Lindsay and Carl started dating. So I think like Lindsay is like embarrassed and should be like semi-embarrassed because like Austen roasted her, but like why did Lindsay go?
I don't know. That's like a good point.
Because I remember this being like a real thing, and
her and Carl weren't public yet.
No. And Watch What Happens Live was promo for Winter House season 1. So Summer House had already happened too. Like they filmed Summer House.
Yeah.
I just find it weird that she was there holding his sister's hand.
Could it be like they were still okay, because here's my other thing, right? Sure, we like start hanging out, but we're not dating until like we're exclusive and whatever. I'm not saying her and Austen like hooked up after Watch What Happens Live, but maybe her and Carl were still just like talking, and
they were dating by then. Lindsay and Carl start dating at the beginning of October. Austen's thing is at the end of October. I just don't think she would have taken it. Like, I find it weird that she took it this hard when she's in a relationship with someone else. Like, who cares if Austen doesn't want you? That's probably why he said Sierra 100 times. Because Lindsay's mad because Austen picked Sierra for like best kisser, like all those questions. I don't understand why Lindsay took it so hard if she's in a relationship with a different guy.
I also don't understand why the girls aren't focusing on this Watch What Happens Live then. I would be like, that's when they hooked up.
It's weird to me that
Lindsay went.
I feel like this makes way more sense why Austen would pick Sierra for everything.
Yeah, but also just like I said, sure, now Carl and Lindsay are like, we started dating this time, but like, what if you and I are like dating people, even if we like start dating, we might not be exclusive till later. So maybe she was like, I'm not going to put all my eggs in one basket.
I guess.
I don't know. And she just went to Watch What Happens Live. Her and Austen are friends.
Like, I understand her going. I think her being so mad doesn't make sense to me anymore.
Maybe because it was embarrassing. It's like public.
Totally get that.
And I don't know. No one else knows
I understand Carl. Austen more now.
Yeah.
Like why he picked Sierra so hardcore.
But if no one knows you're dating Carl and you're supposed to be dating Austen, and then he does that and it looks weird to the public, like she
I don't think people ever thought that they were dating though. Does that make sense?
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna chalk it up to it was public. So
yeah.
I don't know. Okay, but yeah, Lindsay and Carl talk once Austen leaves, and it's not awkward with Austen because Lindsay knew that their friendship changed before coming into the Winter House, and Carl doesn't feel the awkwardness because he's confident and he knows where Lindsay is, and he looks at Lindsay and he knows, and they're fine. So it's just weird. This is where I was like, it's weird just seeing them as a couple. Not bad, but it's just like so weird for me to comprehend still.
Yeah.
Because I don't see
we haven't gotten anything of them dating on any show.
Yeah, we just get them full in love, and I like don't know where to go.
Yeah.
Okay, so then Rachel downstairs with Jason says, hey. And then we get Rachel talking privately in her interview and says she has a ton of guy friends, but a lot of them stem from dating, like failed relationships. So she's happy, like Rachel's really cool, or Jason's really cool with Rachel, like taking things slow and like stopping the makeout. So like she has more confidence that this will progress into something real, which I'm very happy about.
Good on her for like taking it at her own pace, even while living in this same house with a guy, because it would be so much easier to just like go full throttle.
Here's the difference between Jess and Corey and Jason and Rachel. Are Jess and Corey are taking this as we're in love, or at least Jess is like, we're in love because we basically have been dating for 2 months. Whereas Jason and Rachel are like, it has literally been 6 days. Even if we spend every day together, it's still 6 days.
Yes.
And we don't know how we're gonna interact on the outside
world. Like I think they're more logical of like I want this to really start at home because this isn't reality.
No, yeah. So speaking of Jess and Corey, they do a good morning hug and kiss. Corey's gonna go to the bar, and then that's where I feel bad for Luke's activity. It seems like a lot of people don't want to go ice fishing, but he actually has like a solid amount. So
yeah, I know. The more people stacked up, I was like, shit, who the hell is going ice fishing? But after we get there, I realized they really split up the couples.
They split up the couples. Also, I want to be clear, these people are not dressed for -2 degrees. Paige is in a fashion outfit. There's no fashion if it's under 0. There's no fashion necessary.
She's probably warm. That's a big puffer.
Her legs were exposed. This girl needed 3 layers.
That's true. I know.
How's she wearing leggings? Anyway, okay, so Jess is gonna go ice fishing because she doesn't understand how the fish don't freeze if ice. This girl, I can't. Do people not know this though? Should we explain? Is it a Midwestern thing where we just know how to ice?
Still, like, do people really think that the entire lake is frozen and that the fish is frozen but still alive? That doesn't make logical sense.
I did when I was a kid, and then I asked someone and they explained to me what happened as like a 9-year-old. So just to be clear, what happens is the top beginning layer of the lake freezes, but there's still water underneath, because to freeze a whole big area of water it would have to be fucking negative.
That's called a glacier.
Yeah. So basically the fish swim under, you cut through the ice, fish through the hole, and that's how a fish comes out of everyone. Yeah.
But they're like at the bottom. The fish are all at the bottom of the lake in the winter, so it's really hard to ice fish.
So which is why they're catching really patient
baby little fish.
Yeah, you have to be patient. You have to have long lines. Just to be clear, I've never ice fished.
I've never done it.
I know how to. I get the gist.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so we have the ice fishing group, which is Luke, Austen, Lindsay, Carl, Paige, Jess, Jason, and Kyle.
This group shocked me.
Just because of how
the people there, I was just like, what is going on here?
Paige's 2 girl confidants are Lindsay, who she hates, and Jess, who
called her a mean girl.
Paige hates her
3 days ago.
Yeah, it's super weird. And then the bar group is Craig, Corey, Sierra, Rachel, and Amanda.
This is a poppin' group. I would want to be with that group.
I'm showing up here to hang out with Rachel. I think she's a fun fucking time. She's a firecracker, this bitch. I
want to be indoors. I'd want to be at a bar, but I also would pick this group. If that group went ice fishing, I'd probably pick that group.
I'd be in the bar no matter what, to be fully honest. I'm in the bar. Okay, so we'll go to ice fishing first. -2 degrees out. Luke does this all the time at home, at his home lake where Craig almost blew up his boat.
I love when people ask Luke about his like Minnesota life. They're like, you do this too?
He's like, literally all the time. Because also then the guy that's teaching them how to ice fish, Luke is, what kind of bait are we doing? What kind of minnows? What's happening? What are the lines?
When Paige is like, what are you testing him?
He's like, no, I just want to know.
Luke.
He's like, at home I use different minnows. I'm like, great. Super gross.
There's always moments like that where one person is super passionate about something and like brings people who have never done anything like it, and they're like talking all this lingo, and everybody else is like, the fuck is going on right here?
Yeah. Yep. Yep, I'd be lost, but I would get it in a set. Like my dad's a fisher, not
I'd
an
be
ice
like,
fisher.
can we just do it? Like, why are we talking baits and crap?
Yeah.
Like, let's just sit down and do it.
I get it because my dad loves to normal fish. And so he's like, we're gonna use these worms. I'm gonna get
Yeah.
this bait. So I get that, but like I don't care.
I don't want to talk about it. I just want to do it.
So Jess pulls up a line that has already been put down by the
Well,
guide.
first off, she tries to pull the line down.
Oh my god, this girl. She's
They were like, other way, honey. We need to bring the fish up.
So, but then she kisses the fish, which is gross, girl.
I loved how Paige goes, do you want a picture so you can put this on your dating profile? Because good God, guys with fish pictures on dating profiles, end it. I don't think any boys are really listening to this, but if you are, don't ever do
Get
this.
it out. I laughed so hard because that is one of my red flags.
So fucking weird.
Even though my own father would have done that if
I
he
would
had
rather
profiles.
You have a picture of you with like
a dead
line
body
out. Okay, not that. But like you can show yourself fishing. Please don't hold up your fish.
Don't show the fish.
I'm not interested.
Don't show the fish. So when we go to the bar, they're all drinking espresso martinis. They're laughing about how cold the other group is.
I had the best espresso martini last night. I do have to say this right here.
Okay, and then all the couples were basically split up. So then Rachel talks about Jason and how she was actually excited to wake up and see him. And she's like, you guys know me, I hang out in my room, but today I like went out to see Jason.
She's so funny.
He's growing on her a little bit because it does take her a while to warm up to people. So like this is a good sign.
I get it.
So we go back to ice fishing. Luke has a very little fish he pulls up, which I'm sure was disappointing for him. Jess likes fishing, but not in the snow. I don't like fishing, to be clear. I hate fishing, but okay.
Okay, Jess. I'm glad you're having a blast, just not with the snow.
Paige has never gone regular fishing. Meredith, have you gone regular fishing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like a frequent flyer on fishing, but like when I go to this lake I go to every summer, I'll throw a line out.
My dad used to take us 6 kids. He likes silence though. I am not a silent person.
We have like a fishing competition when we go
fun.
For one weekend. And so
yeah, if you don't take it seriously, unlike my dad who's like, I bought a new line. And
I'm like let's start a line and like let's chit chat at the end of the dock together.
Let's drink.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about Jess dating because I think Lindsay heard the comment about, do you want this on your dating profile? And she's like, so are you on Bumble? And Jess is like, not anymore. I'm in love.
Oh, good God. Lindsay has no context of what's going on. So like, you're saying this, you're legitimately saying this. This really isn't a joke.
Yeah. And she acknowledges we've known each other for 6 days. And this is where she says 1 day equals 2 weeks. So technically they've been together for 2 months.
No. I understand how you can say like, we are so much closer because 1 day feels like a week in here, but like, you're not in love. You're not in love.
Also 6 days, if 1 day equals 2 weeks, that doesn't come out to 2 months. It comes out to about
Your math
3.
ain't mathing.
So what she's like, to say I love you is normal.
I'm terrified. I swear if she tells him she loves him, I'm not watching the show anymore. I'm done.
No one better tell me that for at least a year.
Quit.
It better be a year. So then at the bar, Corey and Craig talk about Jess, and this is where Corey says he likes Jess, but Jess is finding a reason not to like him, and he's just gonna keep doing him, like.
They are not on the same page here. Corey's being like really polite and nice. I think he's handling this very well. Like how one should handle a winter house hookup where you're on vacation for like 3 weeks.
Yes, he is doing what normal people would do.
Yeah, he's like, she's really great. Like she's trying to find problems, but like we're just chugging along. And Jess is over there like, we're in love.
Corey is clearly a first-time Bravoer with no expectations because he's like, it's been 6 days.
No. And I think this couple is the reason they divided these 2 days. They I think really wanted this commentary.
Yeah, 100%.
Conflicting commentary here.
So then back to ice fishing. The boys talk. We talk about how Carl and Lindsay have been together for 5 months. And man, did these guys say I love you after the first date?
October, November, December, January, February. Okay, because it's like March 8th, I think.
Yeah, but just like these are the people Jess want to be, where they're like, 2 days in, I love you. That was them. That's
I'm
them.
like, Jess, you're not gonna be them.
So they're like, oh, did you have these feelings for Lindsay before? And Carl describes this moment because they lived in the same building, never forget. And I'm sure Lindsay was just like coming over to say hey, and her hair was like in a messy bun and she was in, I don't know, clothes of some sort.
This
and
like pink,
like
he called it pink Barbie outfit. She posted the photos of that outfit on Instagram. I think she looked better at the wedding. Not that
she was also like a pink Barbie.
This was also like months later, but I don't know.
Did she post them recently?
Yeah, it wasn't what I thought. The photos were gonna look like. I think she looks incredible, but it's just not what I thought.
Oh, I pictured her in like workout clothes, being like,
"Oh,
do you want a sandwich?"
Pictured her dolled up, but I was thinking more of like a dress, or because I'm pretty sure it's like more like a power suit. I don't know. It just wasn't what I envisioned.
But he opened the door, and he's not gonna lie, he jerked off to that picture of her, which is so gross. I don't care if we're dating and we're in love. Don't say that ever.
I did not need to know that, but like, I'm happy to hear in a way of like way before Summer House filmed last Summer House season. He was into it. Like, yeah. I think that's cool to hear. I just didn't need it in that.
But I get him being like, I'm not going to make a move because we're best friends. Like, I think she's hot, cautious, but like, I'm going to whatever. So Carl never thought he could be happy like this. And he is thinking about a future with Lindsay. And this is when Kyle is concerned, because around Halloween, Kyle and Carl went on a work trip and Lindsay was still drinking. And Carl said when Lindsay drinks, she's irrational and didn't know if he could do this. So if Lindsay didn't stop drinking, Carl probably would have broke up with her. So what happens when Lindsay starts drinking again? So in timeline,
that was a lot.
This is around the Watch What Happens
4 days after the Watch What Happens. So I'm wondering if she like had a personal meltdown, which like I get it. I
get it. I also want to be clear. Carl knows Lindsay when she drinks. So for him to be like, now she's irrational, and for Kyle to be like, he would have ended things, he knows. And I don't think Lindsay, it's fair to be like, she's going to start drinking again. She might not. She might really be in support. She might just have a champagne every now and then.
But also like where she was at in her life that October, I think 2021, is not the same place she'd be at if she started drinking like today.
Yes.
I feel like for Kyle to like say those comments was kind of frustrating, especially when that was like months ago. Like we've seen Lindsay drinking for 6 seasons of Summer House. I would not say like she's some crazy psychopath when she drinks.
The thing is, she's a crazy psychopath always.
Yeah, her personality is the same.
She's equal on anything she's on.
To me, I'm taking this and like saying I think Lindsay probably had like a meltdown of life, of just being pissed with like Austen, or maybe just like all this stuff was building up. Yeah. You're like watching Winter House back, where you like throw yourself at Austen, he says no, and you have to relive all of that. I would be in a terrible place.
Yeah, she's drinking a little bit. She's not sober for Carl yet. She is full reign. I mean, she could drink today if she wants to. It's full reign for her.
I think the motivation behind her drinking is the problem, but she's probably learned that like
better.
Yeah.
Yes. Also, if you weren't concerned over Summer House when we had that huge blow up over Austen, why are you concerned over Halloween, dude? Like, honestly, not necessary.
But what I do think is interesting is like hearing this type of context, whether it's right or wrong or whatever, but just knowing that there was like an issue with drinking on like Halloween weekend.
Yes, there was.
And then at the start of Lindsay and Carl coming to Winter House, Lindsay said she stopped drinking to help Carl with his sobriety.
Around
so I'm wondering where the in between of like what was going on, like was Lindsay partying like harder affecting Carl's sobriety maybe, and like,
oh, I don't know. I think Carl's a very strong person. We've seen a lot of people on our Bravo shows become sober because of how it makes them. I do think that Carl is responsible for his own sobriety, 100%. I do understand it can be more difficult to date someone who is drinking because that's what you want to do. Again,
the activities you're doing are difficult then. It's like where the venues then you're sitting at, like sitting at a bar versus like hanging out at home or like going bowling or something
very different. He's known Lindsay a long fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling, right? Maybe it was like our relationship maybe is struggling because you're going out. I can't go out. I can't be drunk. I don't know. But she said around Thanksgiving, he was struggling with his sobriety. So she said, I'm also going to be sober with you, which I think is very nice. I think if Carl is struggling because of Lindsay, he should have said, like, we need to break up.
Yeah. Then.
Not I'm just struggling and her be like, that's fantastic. I'm
so curious for more information about that time frame and the drinking stuff and like
this is all speculation, to be clear. 100%. We have no fucking idea what
I want more of that. I want to talk about that stuff.
I want Kyle to dump everything he knows.
I want all the tea.
So then we cut to the girls and they talk. And Lindsay tells them that her and Carl are great. And Lindsay never knew she could be in love with someone like this. And they know everything about each other. And then you see Paige being like, except
that comment is like the only time this like drama has like hit a little like ding. I'm like, oh, do you have you? Because I don't think she needed to tell him about the Austen thing.
I know, no.
But like,
it's so funny.
Now that this is out there.
Out of all the drama that doesn't matter, this is it. So let's just laugh about
it. Here's the pinnacle moment.
Okay, so it's Tuesday, 5:08 p.m. The fishing group gets back and Luke might tap a tree.
Rowdy.
No,
you're right. Sorry. The fishing group is back.
Luke's gonna go tap a tree. I was shocked at first because Bravo's really showing us how he taps a tree, which we've never gotten before.
Bring his own drill is my question.
I don't know, but yeah, the drill, you put the thing in the tree and then the maple comes out and you put in the bag.
Looks like a little like blood bag or like
it's a Ziploc, I think, but yes.
And with the cord, it's like draining the tree.
Like an IV.
It's like,
So then as he's in nature and quiet tapping the tree, the bar group comes home loud, rowdy, proud to be loud. Everyone in the house, the fish group is kind of drained, so the party group's here to lighten the mood. And sober. So Carl and Lindsay take a little nap in their room but get woken up by the rowdy party group, and Carl says he had a dream about Lindsay in Pittsburgh or something. Shout out. So then Kyle bought a saber and he's gonna saber a bottle of Prosecco, which is so exciting.
The way Craig is like, I've never seen this in person. I was like, dude, this isn't like a Super Bowl win. It's just a bottle being cut open.
Also, I want to be clear. The sabering of the Prosecco was less than lackluster.
It's not that cool. I've done it before. No,
it's not it.
It's dumb.
I do want to shout out Rachel and Jason because Jason's cooking and Rachel's like, just want to say hi to you in the kitchen, and it was cute.
This episode, I was like, you know what? Jason really is a rock star. He does truly cook every meal. It wasn't as like, I feel like known last season because it was 6 episodes. I didn't like take stock of it. We've seen now 7 episodes mainly of Jason cooking like each meal.
Yeah, I want to be clear. He better not be doing dishes.
Fuck no.
He better not.
Craig, get on that. I know you don't like to clean, but get on it.
So Kyle does saber this. It's great. He's just happy because last year he was so stressed with work and all this stuff. And now look at him. He has no stress. He's sabering stuff. It's fantastic.
I think that's a great skill Kyle did need to learn, like how to delegate and let his team handle shit. Because if you can't let your team handle shit, then you hired the wrong people.
I agree. So Jason over here cooking up a storm. It's now 6:13 p.m. Sierra's down in the basement with Luke and Austen, which I don't know why she would enter this, but to each their own. And Austen says he had a terrible time ice fishing, and like Luke's so sad.
Oh God.
Okay, but then Luke says ice fishing is like a relationship. You have to have patience. And Sierra and Austen are so like, goddamn annoyed.
Why are you bringing it back to a relationship? The last thing they want to talk about are relationships, especially the two of them.
This whole group is
so awkward, which I loved.
It was the ice skating group. Never forget.
Oh my God, you're right.
2 thorns and a rose. So, that's when Sierra says, "What did she do to go on vacation with two of her exes?" Girl, you signed up for a TV show. That's what you did. Luke
So
brought you
awkward.
in.
This is why
Sleepy. Yeah.
you shouldn't hook up with people in your friend group.
Yeah,
But it's just too easy to not.
she calls Luke sleepy and Austen dopey, which I think dopey fits perfect. But I want to be clear, Sierra. Luke brought you to this. So
Yes.
shout out. You're welcome.
At
Okay.
least her relationship with Luke was not on TV. That
Yes, they
helps.
hooked up before.
Yeah.
Okay, so Austen has not talked to Lindsay yet. Luke is like, I talked to Carl about how in love they are. And Sierra's like, I'm happy for Carl, but Carl doesn't have, but Sierra doesn't have a relationship with Lindsay, so she doesn't care about her.
Mm-hmm.
And Luke could see Carl and Lindsay getting married, and Sierra thinks that's crazy because, like, they're not meant to be. And Luke's like, what are you talking about?
Luke is so out of the loop here.
Luke sits down. He's like, what are you guys talking about? And Austen's like, Sierra, you tell him. Like, what did I even say? And
this
Sierra's
annoys
like,
me because let's be honest. We know that Austen dropped this bomb. And then now he tees up Sierra, like, go ahead, you tell Luke.
And Sierra's like, you tell Luke. So Austen tells Luke that the night of the wedding, Lindsay came to his room and they ordered McDonald's and fell asleep. And Luke's like, did you just go to bed? And Austen goes, yeah. And Luke's like, so what's
this is
problem?
a totally different version compared to what the girls got. I'm justice for the girls in this drama, kind of, somewhat, because it's like Austen is the root of the problem.
I feel so bad for Luke because he's like, so what is the problem? Like, he is so lost.
He's missing it. And I think Sierra's like, come on, tell him the details.
Sierra's like, tell him what happened. And
because if Sierra says it, then it looks like Sierra's being super vindictive against shady. Lindsay. She can't be the one to be like, Lindsay touched his dick and like wanted to sleep with him.
Yeah. So then she's like, Austen, you say it. And he's like, we ordered McDonald's, went to bed. And Luke's like, so they can't get married because of that?
Because they're friends and slept in a bed.
Poor goddamn Luke is really asking straight up too, like, did anything happen? Austen says no, and Luke's like, I'm confused. But
I think he knows like something else isn't being said because like why would this be a thing?
He thinks the girls are brewing something up, which is also fair because Austen's making it seem like
the girls are making up the other part of the story.
Yeah, so Austen's just fucking over Luke, Sierra, Paige, Lindsay.
Shocker, Austen is pissing everyone off.
Dopey over here is a fucking idiot. Okay, so then Austen then in his interview is like, yeah, Lindsay touched my dick. We're like, sir.
I have another question about the environment, which we'll never get. But as we said, like it happened at night. So it's like, oh, did she just like, was she just sleeping and something happened? Was her hand, what are they wearing clothes? And was her hand inside pants?
I have
that is another distinction.
I have that same question. You can't just say she touched my dick. I would be like, through your suit pants, through your underwear, through your naked body. What's happening? Where
through your naked body?
line it up.
I just need to know what stage we're at of touching and like where the clothes are.
Yes.
And like were you guys cuddling at night? Like these are just the details that actually matter. But instead we're getting bullshit stuff.
And poor Luke is so confused why people care that they slept in a room together. Because we do that for a job, you guys. We literally sleep in the same house with everyone.
Yeah.
Why does it matter?
This isn't that groundbreaking. It is kind of like somewhat weird that like Lindsay just want to go to bed with Carl. But like I see how you get food and you're like, I'm just going to bed right here. I'm exhausted.
Carl kind of explains it and we can get to that. But okay, let's keep going. So Jason's still cooking. Craig's making wand noises and Paige has to tell him he's not a wizard. I don't think his wand noises were very good, but whatever. Luke pulls Lindsay away from Carl to talk to her about what people are saying. And Luke tells Lindsay they're talking about the wedding and how Lindsay stayed in a room with Austen. And then we cut to Austen, who's upset that people are talking about the wedding.
Okay, one, Luke is a good friend. I really appreciate him on a friend level telling Lindsay, but on a show level, this isn't interesting. So I'm sad. Like I wanted a big blow up at a bar.
Yes. Luke's a good friend. Luke's just the best of friends.
Luke is not made for reality TV. Because I just wanted this to come to a head. Like at a bar, public event, people screaming at each other all over Dickgate. Like that's what I want. but it's fine. We're not getting it.
Luke won't let that happen.
This argument also isn't the one for that. Like, this is a dumb drama. Like, the root of it doesn't really
if we got a yelling match
anymore.
about this, you and I would be like, what are they arguing even about?
Good point. And then I'm so fucking over Austen. Like, he literally dropped this bomb and is like, what's happening?
Okay, yeah, let's keep going. So it's 6:38 p.m. Luke and Lindsay are talking. Luke gives Lindsay the heads up. Lindsay says they ordered McDonald's and passed out, and it's not an issue. And Lindsay says that last summer, all the girls slut shamed her. So they just want to keep doing what they're doing when nothing happened. And Lindsay's over it, but like, thanks Luke for letting her know.
Yeah.
So fair. Nothing really happened in that conversation. The girls were a little judgy that Lindsay was hooking up last summer. Whatever.
Yes, 100% they were. I don't think they're making this into a slut shame thing.
No,
I think they're trying to find any fault of why Lindsay and Carl shouldn't be together.
Yes, I think they're trying to quote unquote save Carl from horrible Lindsay.
I think they're trying to drive a wedge. I don't think it has anything to do with like, oh well, you would really grab Austen's dick.
If you're Lindsay, right, and you're like, I just stepped in this house and they're trying to make it seem like I did something with Austen.
Yeah, that's a bit triggering after
so she's
last
like,
summer.
Yeah. So then Austen is talking upstairs with Kyle, Craig, and Sierra. And Sierra's like, if Lindsay was the one in a relationship and she touched your dick, then like, fuck her. That's her fault. And Austen's like, I never said that she touched my dick. And it goes straight to the receipts of he's like, she touched my dick. And so Kyle's now getting nervous because of what Carl's getting into, which this kind of shows. And I get Kyle's been doing reality TV very well for many years. But this is where if I'm Carl, I'm upset because Kyle's not being a good friend and saying like, this is
Kyle's not being what Luke did to Lindsay.
Yeah, he's not being a friend to Carl.
He's being a better reality star than friend.
Because he keeps saying like, oh, I'm concerned for my best friend Carl. I'm concerned for my then go tell him you're concerned if he's really your best friend. But also, he's friends with Lindsay too. So why doesn't he just say like,
hey guys, like walk downstairs and be like, listen, this is the discussion. He's done that before where he's like, listen, here's where the discrepancy is that people are having, just putting it out there.
Yeah. And then Austen also told Kyle this story after the wedding. So off camera, Kyle could have brought it up to Carl.
Which makes me even more annoyed at Austen for being like, I didn't tell anybody XYZ. Like, Austen also being a decent reality star by putting this on camera. Like, I understand that you need to wait for a camera to roll for some drama to happen. And I appreciate that, like, you told Kyle that, like, verifies your version of the story a little bit more to me. But, like, why are you mad that people are talking about it when the whole point of you bringing it up, in theory, in my mind, is to be a good reality star?
No, I'm gonna come back and say I don't think Austen knew he was doing it because he is from a show where cameras are very present, and he said this drunk, and the angle we got was in the room.
They were like, it was dark in the room.
Room cam. But teach their own. Whatever. Let's say he was being a good reality star. Now he's not being. Now he's like contradicting, which like.
That's a good point. I forgot it was like surveillance footage.
Yeah.
This would be trippy to be like, I think Craig's more used to it probably after like really spending time on Summer House and like having that all go down. But like Austen's really bad at 24/7 surveillance, like for his own personal life. He sucks.
Yes. But then Kyle is like, you can't make this shit up. And I'm like, yeah, you can. You can easily make up she touched my dick.
Yeah, you can absolutely. This is like so low key that Lindsay even doesn't find it groundbreaking. So it seems like Lindsay doesn't really know what happened here, like the dick gate part of it.
I think it kind of makes sense. If he woke up to her hand on his dick, she was asleep.
Yeah, and then he like rolled over, so then
he's like, get the fuck off me. Maybe they were still drunk too, so she didn't even hear him, and she just rolled over and he rolled over. I don't know. I need more than just she touched my dick. I need to know what time it was when he woke up and saw that. I need to know what position.
Was she asleep? Where was the hand? What clothes? Yes. I need more details to make this good drama. And like, Austen, I'm sorry, but you're the one who needs to provide them.
This is like when Erica Jane on Beverly Hills said her son got in a car accident checking out
Yes.
cops. There's not enough
Yes.
details.
They like are really the details we do have are really confusing, and there's nothing to bridge all the details together. I need a real story. And you know what? I've just realized I want a reunion for this season, and I want to talk about this.
I hope we get one.
I want to watch What Happens Live reunion where they're just sitting in the clubhouse, and I want the real start to finish story, which we'll never get.
Okay, so Craig has tried Jason's food and it tastes better than it looks, which is so fucking rude, sir. You cook then.
Shut the fuck up is all I want to say.
Craig went to being like the most hated to just the most irrelevant. He just says stupid shit and never shows up again.
I kind of missed Craig being a psychopath at the beginning. I find that way more interesting than what we're doing now.
Okay, so Austen is upset that people aren't better friends by keeping what he said silent.
Dude,
you're on a reality show.
Shut the fuck up. I hate you.
Horrible. And then quick, like Rachel and Jason moment. She's helping Jason get dressed and he smells like food. And it's like he's gonna go shower so he doesn't smell like food. It's cute. Okay, so it's Tuesday, 7:16 p.m. We cut to Jess and Corey hugging. They do long hugs because Jess likes him, but Corey doesn't like long hugs.
That's kind of him to do that for her, though.
Great. Yeah, it was fucking great. So Lindsay tells Carl in their room that people are trying to start shit in their relationship. I just want to shout out in this scene, her boobs look fantastic. Lindsay, you did a good job getting them done. Anyway, Carl already knows that Lindsay got McDonald's with Austen and passed out, which is what Luke told her they're talking about, because that's all these three know right now.
Yeah.
But the rest of the house knows something different. And Carl and Lindsay both don't think it was an issue, because if it was an issue, Lindsay would have told Carl, and people get jealous when other people are happy. Fine. So then we get Carl's side where he says him and Lindsay danced together the whole wedding, all night. Carl is sober. Lindsay is not. Carl goes to bed because he's tired. Carl's asleep. Lindsay, I'm sure, is still partying and is like, McDonald's, count me in, because that's what I would do drunk.
And that is totally a moment where you're like drunk and you're like, what are we doing next? I need to find someone to hang out with. And then you're also hungry, and it's
and like, Austin's like, I'm gonna order McDonald's.
I imagine them sitting in the bed eating McDonald's as a drunk person would do, like cross-legged, like
the most unattractive. Man,
I want McDonald's right now. All I want is French fries.
But okay, so like Lindsay said nothing happened. She would have told Carl, I'm sure. That's why she didn't sleep with Carl that night, because he was probably in bed long before she thought
even
to go to
if
bed.
Like her hand, and she knows, was on his dick over clothes, that's not enough for me to tell some guy I started dating a week later that I did that.
Yeah, if we're not dating yet, why would I care?
I told you about the event and that nothing serious happened. That is truly the correct line.
And Carl's confident that Lindsay's not going to hide anything from him. And
I agree.
Lindsay knows Luke was just trying to be good friends. So like, these three are still solid. Our three favorites in this relationship. Just kidding.
Yes. Everybody needs. Have you seen those TikToks where it's like, and your friend Steve? Luke is Steve.
Steve. I'm Steve, so I get it. Okay, so then it is 6:54. Jess and Corey make out right in front of the surveillance cam, so we can't get away from it. Jason and Rachel are the only ones eating, but they're eating together, so it's like a cute little date.
This was the most uncomfortable moment of this episode, is people slowly come and sit down, not really talking to each other, and people get up.
I was just sad because Jason again slaves over a meal. I want to sit with him and tell him how good it is as I'm eating it. Like, out of respect, like, Jason made this meal. Let's all sit and eat this meal.
Yeah.
Right? If it's McDonald's, ironically, come grab your fucking Big Mac and leave if you want. Fine.
But this is how much people are like avoiding being in common spaces. This really was like yep, this is happening. And then the night before, when everybody was sitting in Paige and Craig's room, there were like five or six of them just standing around. And I was like, people are avoiding common areas.
It's bad. Okay, but like, let's get a little cute. Jason asked Rachel if she likes his food, and she goes, yeah, it tastes like a lean cuisine. And Jason literally is so upset, and she's like, I'm just kidding. And then Jason says that Rachel is very different than what happened with Lindsay, because Rachel's a slow burn, and Lindsay kidnap Jason. Remember, she's like, I'm gonna kidnap you to my apartment.
Love.
Okay, and then Lindsay and Carl join, and Amanda joins, and yeah, Sierra's joins, but they're all leaving too. But we're gonna get ready to go out tonight, so we're all in the same fucking room.
Yes.
Paige, Amanda, and Kyle are the ones left at the table, and Kyle and Amanda are like, "Oh my god, it's so awkward with Lindsay and with Lindsay and Carl." But Paige didn't catch any of it; she was too busy falling in love with Jason's food, I'm sure. But yeah, Luke on his way out to the bar is a little annoyed with people because they're just trying to start drama.
Again, Luke, we're on a show for a reason. I need you to chill out on this. He is like a good moral compass, but like, bro, you can't be bad over this.
It's not for him.
Yeah.
So it is 8:54. Kyle, Amanda, Craig, and Paige switch partners to walk in the bar. And
this
Paige
is cute. I actually really liked this.
Paige and Kyle,
they waffle.
They waffle their fingers, which cracks everyone up. It made me laugh. Okay, Lindsay and Carl get non-alcoholic beers because they're sober, if you forgot.
I like that breweries do that. I think that's really cool because then you can like feel like a part of the vibe. Carl later says like, I got a second, like they're good. And I'm like, yeah,
he was jokingly like, I'm on my second non-alcoholic beer. Look out. It was very funny.
I think it makes socializing in a bar a lot easier.
Yes. Jess cannot stop kissing Corey, and he doesn't like to kiss in public. Like,
fuck. She's like ready to marry him. I'm scared that she's gonna say I love you. I cannot watch that on TV.
I would rather watch Touchgate happen
100 million times. I'd actually rather people talk about Touchgate and nothing actually happened than watch that, like, her be obsessed with him and he's not.
Corey's literally like, I'm gonna go because I gotta pee.
He's like just to polite at this point. And this is my worst fear: is a boy is kissing me to be polite.
And the camera is catching everything. Okay, so Carl and Lindsay tell each other they look hot and they love each other so much. I hate when people repeat. You look hot. You look hot too, baby. I love you so much. I love you so much, baby.
Because it's like,
shut the fuck up.
You're just copycatting me. Like, give me a real compliment. Give me an individual compliment.
Just awful to watch. Oh my god, Rachel and Jason talk and hold hands. Let's talk about this.
I'm obsessed with them. I need them to speed it up a little bit because I'm scared we're really not going to get anything else on the show.
Well, we know at BravoCon she said she sat with Jason and was like, I'm most attracted to him.
Wasn't going to actually say this on a recording, but I'm pretty sure she's dating someone else. I didn't know if you knew.
I didn't, because it's Bravo News, but I'm gonna go creep a little bit. Oh, Jason, no.
I know.
Okay, so but Rachel tells Jason she appreciates how sweet he is with her, and it's hard for her because it's hard when all these other people have beautiful relationships with girl.
I listen, I need Rachel on Summer House. I need her everywhere in my life.
I need her to see these beautiful relationships a little more, but you know. Okay. And it brings up Rachel's hesitations and thoughts, but Rachel knows in her heart she's got a beautiful man who's respectful, and she should just go with the flow. And Jason says he understands and appreciates her opening up and respects her wishes.
It is so wonderful to see a healthy relationship because I never in my life have I ever seen a relationship like this. Yeah, I just DM'd you the photo. Or like one of them.
It's okay.
She kind of like soft launched with him with like a video, I think, where you couldn't really see him as much, but that's a Thanksgiving Day photo.
It's okay.
I'm just annoyed because, to be honest, I wish you would have just like kept this quiet until this season was over.
Maybe this is like a brother of hers or something.
Give me hope. Like, I didn't need to know this, especially after you did us dirty at BravoCon by saying she totally played us at BravoCon, and I appreciate her for it. I know she's a reality star because of it, but like, keep your real relationship secret so I can play into this.
There's another one of them, and she says it's cuffing season, and I am cuffed.
Yes.
Oh, damn it.
It made me sad. So like, this isn't real, but like, I'm just gonna live in La La Land that like that boyfriend in real life doesn't exist. Her and Jason are healthy, normal, and I need a good example in my life.
And I'm fucking obsessed, and I follow Jason on Instagram on my personal account because I love him. Okay, so everyone's playing bags. The group is kind of divided. It's like Jason, Rachel, and Lindsay and Carl are playing bags, and everyone else is just thinking about Touchgate, especially Austen, who's just like in his head about talking to Lindsay. And so yeah, so Craig tells Austen that he shot himself, or Craig says about Austen that he shot himself in the foot again, which Austen usually does. And
also,
basically,
Sierra said to him, like, get out of your head, like, have fun. And he goes, I'm not in my head. And I'm like, dude, you are. Stop being a dick to everyone else because you started this.
I don't know why Sierra even talks to this fucking miserable person. He's awful. Okay, but you gotta talk to Lindsay, dude. She's gonna find out. So Austen does go ask Lindsay for a chat, and everyone's like, oh my god, is she gonna talk to him? Maybe she won't. Carl's not happy that this is happening. I think it's just the vibe, but she does talk to him.
Obvious in the house, and even when they're out, there's a divide in this group. And now that Lindsay and Carl know what's going on, I think they know why there's a divide. And it's like, listen, why does this have to be a thing?
Because they don't know. They're like, why does it matter?
Yes.
Okay, so Austen and Lindsay talk. They haven't spoken in so long, and Austen wants to apologize because their friendship died after the Watch What Happens Live episode. And Lindsay said she felt good about where they were in summer and at the wedding, which was obviously before that.
Yes.
Austen says he's very happy for Lindsay when she told him in September about Carl. And she's like, it was October.
Corrects. Oh, okay. This makes me feel like their timeline thing is on a little bit more on purpose.
This makes me think like Austen just said this because everyone's been freaking out about Touchgate September.
I know, but like all he says is you told me you were excited about Carl in September, which was the wedding. And she's like, October. And I'm like,
well, he says September or something. And she's like, it was October.
Also, I'm like, these guys, why on both sides, why is this date so important? They're like 10 days apart.
Yeah, the total end of September is 5 days from the wedding. So yes. I cannot understand. Okay, so Austen knows what he said on Watch What Happens Live was harsh. And Lindsay says she felt embarrassed, and their friendship is very important to Austen still. And I'm sitting here going, is he going to talk about Touchgate or not? I'm like,
how do you weave in Touchgate with Watch What Happens Live? Because they're vastly different things.
I know. So it's now 9:47. Austen says he needs to apologize to Lindsay in person. And he does for the Watch What Happens Live thing. And she appreciates that. And she's open to a friendship with Austen. And he does not mention Touchgate. And so they hug goodbye. And I'm like, what the hell? But I get why Austen didn't really bring up Touchgate, because I think now he's thinking, is it a big deal, really?
Yeah, and it's really hard to segue from that. If he was going to bring up Touchgate, I think he would have had to do it when he mentioned, I was just so excited. Like, I love you and Carl. I was so excited when you told me about him in September, and she corrected October. He could have been like, it was just weird for me considering what happened at the wedding. Yes. That was the only way he could have brought it up. And he didn't, because he prioritized Watch What Happens Live, which I don't think is a bad thing. But this leaves the girls hanging out like it's all their fault, that they're making this a thing.
Yes.
And they didn't start it. No. I don't like that it constantly girls get blamed for Austen stuff. And like, yes, the girls fight because of Austen. The girls are continuing it for sure. So they do have a piece in this. But like, Austen just looks like he did nothing wrong.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think Austen's hanging them out to dry. I do appreciate that he apologized to Lindsay.
100%.
I think he maybe should have brought up Touchgate, maybe even just as like I know you know that people are talking about,
maybe like tomorrow morning. It's like he goes to her and says,
but I do understand why he didn't bring it up. A part of me though thinks maybe he's not bringing it up because it's not that big a deal.
I think he's backtracking. I think he made it bigger. Yes. Because the girls were like reacting. You know, when you're like telling drama and like people are reacting, and so then you're like retelling the story with better details.
More drama.
I kind of feel like that's what happened. Like, this was a hand over close.
Also, touch. He did this drunk. He didn't know there was a camera around. He probably said it as like, I don't want Lindsay here because she touched my dick.
Yeah.
I now question if
instead of owning like, I don't want her here because I embarrassed her on national television.
Yes. So we get a quick Rachel and Jason sighting, but it's right next to a Corey and Jess sighting, and it's vastly different. Like Rachel and Jason are so into each other, and Corey is not into the PDA Jess is showing him.
No, it's so awkward that he's like verbalizing it too now.
And he's like, I don't like PDA. And she's like, I do. If you like me, I want to touch you all the time. And he's like, that's not me.
It's like, I don't like it. He's
So
like, I do long hugs for you at home so you can have what you want. Can't you just give me something?
But we're at a bar. I want to go drink with Craig and shit.
Like, I think she's trying to be territorial with him with this PDA. Like, we are out in public now because they kiss and like hug and whatever, but it's not too over the top as it is in this bar. Like, she is way more all over him out in public.
So we know her love language. Shout out.
Yikes.
Okay, so Austen, Sierra, and Amanda and Craig talk. Austen says they did not talk about Touchgate. Everyone's like, oh my God, are we not going to tell Carl then? And Austen says he felt conflicted because he really wanted this conversation to be about apologizing, which I get. Like, Lindsay deserves a full conversation about that. And Austen, or Craig asked the real question, what does it matter to you? And Austen, wait, what? Hang on.
I think Austen said, why does it matter to you guys?
Oh, that's it. Like, why does it matter to you people? And everyone's like, because we got to know. And he's like, no, but like, why does this actually matter to you guys? And now I think he's scared that his new okay relationship with Lindsay, because I think he does really like that friendship, is going to be fucked up based off what he said. So now he
is really good about starting a problem, moving on, and not being big enough to like address the problem. So then he causes a second problem, but has to apologize for the first problem. And then he's like, shit, now I need to apologize for the second one, but I need to wait because I can't.
Yeah. I'm going to blame you guys.
Have them realize that I fucked up twice.
Yeah. So now he's like, why do you guys care about this relationship so much?
I like that the girls are like, you know what? We're not talking about this. They like walk away. They're like, we're not dealing with this. And it's like Craig talking to Austen at the end, being like,
yeah, I can kind of get it a little bit in the sense of like, because I said last episode, why do you guys care so much about this? Like, it is frustrating, but I think now the girls care because it's like, you're hanging us out to dry now. That's why we care.
And like, they're probably having all the questions we're having, like, oh, what are the details? Like, what really happened? Like, there is a scale of what could have happened that like hand over clothes while they're asleep means absolutely nothing. But the extreme of it is like, they're in, let's say like bra and underwear, and her hand is in his underwear. That means something. Yes. And so it's like, where are we on this scale? Because if it's top tier, then like, oh, let's go for it.
I can't. I feel like as a girl though, that loves a little tea, I would have asked the questions before spreading it.
I agree. In that bedroom that night, with the surveillance footage, like, who cares if they almost had sex? I want to know about the actual incident.
I think Paige at this point until the bar has done a really good job staying out of it. I think Sierra and Amanda are more focused on it. I would have pulled a Paige. I would have been out of it, and I would have been like, until I get more details, I'm going to listen,
this. But I'm not going to talk about it. I'll listen to it. Yeah. Because Paige is coming out a lot more clean.
Yes. So Craig's like, are you protecting Lindsay or what? And Kyle's just like, you have to go tell Carl. And I'm like, Kyle, you need to go tell Carl at this point. Go tell him. So then Amanda, Paige, Jess, and Sierra talk. And Amanda tells them Carl still doesn't know about Touchgate. And this is where Paige is like, that's super shitty, because if the day Craig asked me to be exclusive, I dealt with him grabbing a vagina, that like I would break up with him. And I was like, but they weren't exclusive at the time of the wedding. Yeah. So what are you guys talking about?
It's not making sense. But like, I do agree. Like, it is super shitty if everybody's talking about something and Carl's the only one who doesn't know. Like, we got to solve that.
The other thing is, they don't know that Carl knows about the McDonald's sleepover, which is what Lindsay and Luke know.
Yes. They don't know that Luke told Lindsay, and Lindsay told Carl about like half this drama.
About what Austen lied about, which is where Sierra, I think, should have said like, Austen's denying everything.
Yeah.
To Luke. Because
that's true.
You could think Luke is going to tell Lindsay. Like, Paige is so much smarter than this, and it angers me that she played this wrong. Like, I don't know why I'm disappointed she played it a little wrong.
I feel like Sierra played it wrong.
Sierra's an idiot, though. Of course she's gonna play it
true.
wrong. She's not good.
Paige is just sitting back though. Like her name's not on this. She's just
until she comments about it right here. Until she's like, I'd be pissed because now she's inserting her opinion.
Yeah.
And Amanda has the whole time been like, it's so awkward. It's so
the real problem is though Sierra mentioning it to an outside party, Luke, who wasn't in the initial conversation. Like now they're just like chatting about it with the OG people who heard the story. Yes. So she's still not part of like spreading it.
Yes. Sierra played it super wrong. She's okay TV, but she's bad at reality TV. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, Luke's bad because he's not meant for it. Sierra's bad because she just doesn't play anything correctly.
No.
Paige and Amanda
because if you're going to bring it up and like make Austen tell Luke, you better call him out at the same time and be like, that's not what you told me.
Yes. Because now
you look like the asshole.
Now if Sierra's like, Austen at the bar, I'm calling you out, Luke's gonna be like, why didn't you call him out in the bed? You knew about this.
Yep.
The three of us had a clear comment.
Even just one comment of her saying that's not what you told me would have
be like, oh, your story changed,
helped her.
Like literally anything, or been like, Austen, I'm really on to you, I see what you did there. So Austen knows that he's gonna get caught.
People don't know how to play drama right. Like you got to build an army of people to vouch for you in different situations.
Listen, I would be like a Luke where I don't want to get involved, but if I did get involved, I'd be so good at it. I'd be so good because we analyze it weekly of like what's happening. Yep. Okay, so next time we do some more snowboarding. Paige says she never saw herself having kids in New York, but she does in Charleston.
Which that never shocked me.
Jess thinks she's dating Corey, but Corey thinks they're not exclusive when they leave. Amanda and Kyle don't have sex in the house. And then something about Austen not bringing his girl, but Sierra banging something.
What if she brings someone back to the house? I'm so confused at that.
I'm confused of what happened because Austen says something like, oh, I'm not allowed to be my girl, but Sierra's banging, and Sierra gets mad and cries and shuts her door in Austen's face.
Which good. She deserves to shut. I don't care what it's over. Shut the door in his face.
I just want to know what happened.
Yeah.
And then Amanda, of all fucking people, tells Lindsay about what Austen is saying, which this really clears Amanda's name a little bit from Lindsay's, like, who do I need to fuck up?
The true drama full circle, because we have not told the actual part that people are like obsessing over.
Yeah.
No one cares about the McDonald's. McDonald's is mentioned so much in this group, and no one cares about the eating of McDonald's.
Can you imagine if someone's like, I heard it was pizza? It'd be
the ad that McDonald's got in this episode is insane. Amazing. Like, I'm ready for McDonald's.
I want McDonald's. But yeah, so Amanda tells Lindsay, and Lindsay tells Carl, and Carl's mad. Which this again, I'm like, they have a very open relationship where Lindsay's like, hey, this is what they're talking about immediately. Mm-hmm. And she's not scared. She's not like, oh no, they know. She's straight up like, this is what everyone's saying.
They're a very mature couple, and I think that's our problem with them. Because they're not cutesy, like, oh, we're taking it slow, like Jason and Rachel. Like, they're just like, hey, people are saying I grabbed Austen's dick. And it's like, wow, I could never say that to anybody I've ever been dating.
I love a cheating scandal. As much as I hated Kyle for doing it, it brought the TV drama. So let's go. Okay, before we do fun, not fun, I did forget to pick a patron of the episode. I'm going to do that really quick. I actually had an answer. I'm gonna, the one time, I'm going to pick Chrissy or Chris My Grits because she left us a 5-star review and we super appreciate it. And listen, Meredith and I are meant to be 40. Like, that's all we want. And we're sure.
We're just 13-year-olds when it comes to TV.
I'm sure you're not Kyle, who's distracted by anything shiny. Okay, so we love you, Chris.
We like adult 40s. We don't like reality TV 40-year-old men who are 10 years old at heart.
Men being the operative word. We just want to squeeze out the toxicity. Squeeze it out. Okay, great. So now let's do fun, not fun.
Okay, I have my not fun.
Okay, do not fun.
Austen, dude, I'm tired of your changing story. You're like, threw this out there and then you're like, oh, what's happening? And I'm like, boy, come on. This is This is the 40-year-old boys. Why did I say men? It's 40-year-old boys out there. I don't think he's 40, but still, he's giving us those
close.
vibes.
He's got to be close. That's understandable. I'm actually going to pick Kyle because I think he's being a bad friend to Carl. And if he actually cared, and this is your business, like not business partner, but he's up there in your company. He is an executive in your company. You guys trust each other. You guys are friends. You keep saying you have all this concern. You found out right after the wedding about Touchgate and you still said nothing.
Yeah, that's true. That's so true.
You're supposed to be friends with Lindsay.
Alicia, if you held on to that for 5 months.
And then you see me on reality TV, like I've known about it for a long time, but I'm just
and you're still not saying anything, and this house drama is popping off.
And you're kind of throwing Lindsay out to dry, being like, what if she drinks again? Because she was a nightmare at Halloween.
You're right.
No, Kyle's a bad fucking friend. Amanda can be a bad friend-ish because she's more friends with Paige and them.
Yeah, she doesn't have that close of a bond with Lindsay, and she's going to be a better friend next episode than
but Kyle's being to Carl. Kyle, you can't flip like that. You gotta stay in your lane, my dude. I don't know. He's making me mad. Who's your fun?
I didn't even think about it. I'm gonna go Luke. Like, go off, King. He went ice fishing, loved, like, he got a whole crew despite not everybody wanting to go. But again, I think production had a hand in that. He tapped that tree like no other. I wanted to see some maple syrup. Like, give me a little time lapse, please. Next time, production would have loved.
Jess loves maple syrup.
Because can I tell you something? I don't understand how the maple syrup comes out of the tree when it's -2 degrees, because I think it's frozen solid. Am I crazy? Just how Jess thinks that those fish are frozen in the lake. I feel like that maple syrup is frozen in the tree.
I don't know.
And then lastly, Luke is being a really good friend to Lindsay. And I think he's a real person. Like, he's the realest person in the house. And he's like, this is what's going on. Like, I'm just like, I'm letting you know so you can deal with it.
Agreed. I'm gonna pick Jason because he had his conversation with Lindsay. He got closure. He is nothing but understanding with Rachel. He is cooking in the house every day.
Chef Supreme.
And even when Rachel is like, I know I'm moving really slowly, he is like, I respect your boundaries and I will continue to do so.
Like how every man should treat a woman.
This is not even a man. He's a king.
I'm never going to be able to find someone like that.
Well, if him and Rachel aren't dating and he's still in New York.
He's available.
He's probably on like those really high-end.
Raya.
Apps, yeah. He's on Raya. I'm on fucking Tinder still.
Jesus Christ.
But yes, we picked 4 boys for all of our ones. 2 men, 2 boys.
Wild. Yes.
2 men, 2 boys.
2 men, 2 boys. And
1 man, sad 1 king, 1
is
boys.
The ages really tell us. Actually, I don't know what
Jason,
ages.
I think, is in his early 30s.
I don't want to. Age is just a number, Chris. Don't you see it?
Kyle lost his virginity when Amanda was a child.
Stop! I hated that. I will never forget that. It is burned into my brain. Stop.
Sorry, I can't stop laughing. Okay, this was fun. Be sure to rate, review, subscribe. You saw how happy we are about the reviews.
Probably best episode because it was just kicked it off nice.
Join our Patreon. I promise if you're $5, I will post next week. I am so sorry. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, follow us on Instagram. I have the tweets locked and loaded for Monday morning.
Yeah, go take a peek at our Instagram now because they're up.
Goodbye.
Thanks. Bye.